So I'm here with the boss today, and I'm actually going to be questioning him on an important topic of today, and that is how the tariffs are affecting our business. Because I can make all my own assumptions, but in the end, he's the one making the deals and keeping track of all the lumber prices, who's buying, who's not. So today is a really important video because we're going to be discussing all the ways in which the tariffs are affecting us, both negatively and positively within our business. Because, hey, there's no better way to honestly get an opinion from a citizen of the United States of America who owns their own business. So here it is. This is the truth. And obviously our experience isn't everyone's, but here we go. So, Dad, what do you have to say about the tariffs and what's going on with us right now due to the current status of, everything?
Well, I'd say that there is a lot of positive and a lot of negative. One of the things that we've experienced really since 2020, since COVID began, was there's been a lot of uncertainty in our business. I don't know if that's the case across the boards. When I talk to many of the truck garages and different people in my industry, they would say, I think, the same thing. I don't want to speak for everybody as a whole, but there certainly has been a lot of uncertainty. As a business owner, that can be, very frustrating because we don't understand where things are going. I've said this before in other videos, that when we harvest a hardwood tree, within that tree there's many different markets. For example, you have veneer market, you have an export market, you have a domestic market, and then on from that you have other domestic markets that would include your railroad tie market, your pallet material market, and finally your local firewood market. So one of the mistakes that I think loggers make in this industry is they're always excited when the export market, which would be your prime log, a lot of our veneer stays here, so this would be one step below veneer. Then we have prime. A lot of that is exported in certain species. They get very excited when that's the big number on the pay sheet, but that's only a small market of an entire tree. My favorite market economy is when everything's moving. It doesn't have to be high at the veneer end. That's not all that exciting for me. It's not high. It's not exciting when the export market is doing extremely well. It's great when all markets are moving. I know where everything goes. Everything has a home, and it's a lot better than so many heights and valleys.
Which is just what it's been the past 3 years, hasn't it? Just lots of peaks and valleys, right? Nothing real steady. It definitely, in a way, all small businesses have always, this is a struggle. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring when you own your own business. But I feel like that whole idea has really been heightened for small business owners the past couple years, just with all these peaks and valleys that you're discussing. And obviously this is really important to hear because this is definitely insider information into the trade. So
I'm not gonna, I want to be careful in a video what I say, but we were not able to sell several thousand feet of a certain species this week, and it was a little painful, and it's a product that would hit the export market. I called to say I was going to be bringing, so many feet to a certain location, and the buyer called back and said, "Ken, I've got some bad news. We've closed the doors on that product, on that species, and we aren't taking any." He was quick to say, "Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe everything will be open back up, but right now, no, we aren't buying." And it's difficult when you have timber purchased and you're looking ahead to try and figure out where you're going to go with these products. So one of the things that I'd say is very positive, and I think we're going to see this happen. I think Americans are going to have to start looking like inside, not just inside yourself, but inside our country, and we need to redevelop a lot of our domestic markets. I'm not saying stuff shouldn't be exported. We are part of a world community, but we can see how one or two people's political decisions dramatically affects things across the board. Now, lumber is a very interesting commodity because I can't just let it sit. It has to move.
Right.
It's April. We're coming into warmer months. The material will immediately begin to stain as soon as we get 3 or 4 sunny 80-degree days in a row. We have to move it.
Yeah.
And if I don't move it by then, which could be next week, I'm going to lose it. And you think I've got the cutting, the skidding, the hauling, the milling, the inventory, the truck sitting here ready to go, and I'm told, nope, don't send it.
So I guess the hopes would just be that while we might lose some sales exporting, that it would make that people deciding to come buy local increase, like it would even out. I guess would just be the hopes.
That's my hope. Yeah.
It would even out, and of course, it seems really great one side, but you have to look at the other side. So, I guess one thing that I was really wondering after I posted that short yesterday about the tariffs, a lot of people were like, well, don't think that prices in America aren't going to rise because of supply and demand. So are you planning on raising your prices due to supply and demand? Because in that case, it's not going to be any cheaper to go local, which was some of the comments, some of the people's points was that, well, don't think it's going to be cheaper because supply and demand, people are going to raise their prices. So I was wondering what our personal plan was.
Well, first of all, a lot of times we're not able to directly answer comments that are posted. And the reason that we're not able to is because it is a very, very lengthy answer that isn't able to just be put in the comment section on a YouTube video. Some of our prices are fixed. The lumber that I was selling yesterday, it would be graded and purchased at a certain rate. I don't have anything to do with that dollar amount. It's based on the quality of the timber, how good M&J do on the mill. If sometimes we get deductions on our lumber if there's snipe. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about on the ends of the lumber. All that's looked at. So that's a fixed number that I have nothing to do with. At our log yard where we have sales, I don't anticipate any price increases. I'm not looking at, I'm not seeing that the structure of our cost, I'm not anticipating any major increases. I'm glad to see that fuel has come down again, another 10, 12 cents. That doesn't sound like much. To me, it's huge. It's already dropped 19 cents or so in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Which makes operating expenses cheaper.
Right,
And why we raise our prices if operating
Right.
expenses are down?
Right. So we aren't, I don't anticipate, I don't think we need to. I think the hemlock and the pine can be that. I think one of the things that you're going to see, although domestically there is a fair amount of pine that is manufactured in the United States, this would be your box store lumber. A lot of it is southern yellow pine, comes from down south. It's rather fast growth trees. That's why you see a lot of variations in the quality of your lumber. Some of it's coming out of north of Maine and Canada, and that's that's going to be interesting to see how the Canadian markets affect the American economy.
Prices. Yeah.
We're hoping to hold our pine 2x4 prices at the same price. Now remember, we're rough cut, but I think our pine 2x4x8 is $3.
Yeah, it's like
$3. I don't know if it's $3.25. I'd have to look at the price list, but I want to maintain. I think that would be a good thing to do, as long as we don't experience another major price increase, $6 a gallon fuel.
Yeah.
Or some other unexpected expense.
Yeah.
So, did that answer?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I hope that this is answering some of the comments that we got on it before. A lot of people, obviously it's a hot topic right now, and so many people, everyone has an opinion, right? But there's no opinion when it comes to just actual experience. Like, this is just simply what we're experiencing, no filter or lens of perception on this. This is just what it is, and obviously we will keep you guys updated as different things change economically. So maybe we'll do another video saying something completely opposite in another month.
We could do a follow-up video. I just want to reiterate, although I'm getting tired of the uncertainty.
Uncertainty, yeah.
Of uncertainty.
Yeah.
I get a little stressed out from it. The other business owners I talk to feel the same way. We'd like to see some of the uncertainty get mitigated, so at least we can sit down, we can take a look at a number and understand, okay, next quarter, we should be able to be in a certain location. I'd like to see that mitigated. But as far as, what we're experiencing, I couldn't say that it's a positive or a negative. I think it's going to be how you perceive it. Like I said, I just like to see some of the uncertainty mitigated, so that we know where our products from our hardwood forest are going to go, and how they're going to be used, and what we might expect to get paid from them. So that's a challenge, but with every difficulty, there's an opportunity, and I just look at this as, this is an opportunity. And it's an opportunity, I'll say this, for Americans to do what they say they'd like to do.
Exactly.
Buy American.
Yeah.
Buy American. We are part of a world economy. I have a Dodge truck sitting behind you. Tires are from China, I'm sure. The radio is. We are part of a world economy. The truck's manufactured in the United States. It's impossible to escape. There's nothing wrong or right, positive or negative about that. We just need to understand that that's how things operate now, and that's a good thing. So we sort of need to learn probably to get along.
Yeah.
A little better, and
for sure,
and quit being so selfish, and
it sounds very cliche to say, but I think that it's just always kind of obvious in every situation that a cliche answer is probably the correct one, which is an interesting thing to ponder on. No wonder why it's cliche, right? But anyways, I think that about covers it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed, If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Other than that, we'll see you back here next time. Bye.